It's good to be here. Nice to see all of you. Whenever I find myself gathered with others, as we are here this moment at Ground Zero and outside the Bangor base, and as we will be shortly outside the gates of the base, I'm really struck with how strange it feels to be here. It's Tuesday, midday, as I just noted. And we all have other places we'd normally be if we weren't here. Our lives are full enough with the ordinary business of living. But nonetheless, we are here, standing outside a naval submarine base where we are really not wanted, trying in an awkward setting to find words that don't come easily, to speak to people for whom our presence and words are as much an interruption of their ordinary work as of our own. In conjunction with people in Nevada, as we just heard at the test site, and elsewhere in the country today, we are observing an anniversary of the publication of the American Catholic Bishop's Pastoral Letter on Peace. That letter, too, struck our country, and indeed many Catholic people, as a strange thing for bishops to be talking about. And what it said was not altogether welcome. It amounted to an interruption in the business-as-usual life of the Church, which has many other things to concern itself with. And it was an interruption in the lives of people who have enough other problems without being told that the country of which they are a part as voters, taxpayers, and free citizens is marching headlong down a path which is immoral and leads to destruction, and which they must take responsibility to change. But that's exactly what the pastoral letter meant and what it said. That is what the ongoing campaign of nonviolent resistance to the Trident submarine, amidst countless other activities of the peace movement, is saying. That is what we are saying to ourselves and others by being here today. As believers in a loving God, as concerned and responsible citizens of this planet, we have to interrupt our lives and the lives of others. We cannot simply proceed with business as usual. We have to call for and place our lives behind a change in the direction our country and our planet are moving. It has taken sacrifice to do this, and it will demand more sacrifice. The conversion we are trying to bring about in our lives must be a top priority, and that means it will cost. On other occasions, I have called Trident the Auschwitz of Puget Sound. This expression I've never meant to be a particular indictment of those who work on the base or on the submarines. The fact is, they work for and with the rest of us. If anything, resistance on their part is much more costly than it is for us. We, as much as they, are engaged in preparing this Auschwitz of the 80s. Those of you who watched any of Shoah, the documentary on the Holocaust that was aired on public TV last week, had this reality forcefully brought home again. Persons who are still alive, who participated in the confinement, the transporting, the preparation for and killing of the Jews, looked so broken and conscience-stricken as they tried to explain how and why they took part. They were ordinary, good citizens of their nation in all other respects. They were only fulfilling their necessary role. They didn't allow themselves to know what their particular task was contributing to. They felt swept up into something so much larger than themselves, and resistance would have brought them imprisonment and or violent death. And so they prepared for and brought about the death of millions. The parallel for us today seems so real. except that we have less excuse because of their experience, and we still have space to maneuver. We can say the Holocaust is not yet taking place, and we hope against hope it won't. But the fact is, the ovens are prepared, the trains are rolling, the consent of individuals is being given, and corporate policies of a nation are in place for the annihilation of millions under some definitely foreseeable circumstances. And at the same time, our minds and hands, if not our hearts, and our resources are being directed away from the only kinds of activities and mentalities that could alleviate the instability and inequality and unmet human needs that are the foundation for the hostility and war that we prepare for. My friends, the pastoral letter of the American Catholic bishops, and now, of course, the pastoral letter of the Methodist bishops, the many efforts and activities of the peace movement, and our presence and activity here today are meant to interrupt our lives and to interrupt the lives of others. They are meant to tell us and others that our lives and the policies of nations, they just must change. And so I pray that God grant that our action of proclaiming this message in the very awkwardness and inconvenience it brings may bring about conversion in ourselves and others as we act and speak. Again, it's good to be with you. God bless you.